Hello everybody. Hopefully everything seems to be okay. Now let's just be sure that everybody can see me and the screen. Of course, currently we have just a browser here and our simulator, what we are going to build out today. And hopefully everybody can hear us. Go ahead and comment in the chat where you are from and what are you eager to learn about SwiftUI? Well, basically today we are going to learn about SwiftUI button styles. So I really hope that is something that you are interested in, and looking forward to your chat. I can see that we are already 7 here. Really nice. Go ahead. I would like to know where are you from. Go ahead and type in the chat, please, if that is possible. Otherwise, I think everything seems to be okay. Hi there, Angelo from Italy. Hey, from Italy, Angelo. Hope you are excited for SwiftUI button styles. Today we are going to cover a lot of button-ish things like what you can see on the simulator right here. So that is my demo project. That is what I'm going to build out today in the next half and nearly 1 hour. Sounds good from New York City, Glenn. Okay. I just had a conversation with one of my clients from New York City about an hour ago. It's really nice. How's the weather there? Because I heard that there were some really nice weather storms right there. Agatha from Hungary. Hey, Agatha. Okay. If you do have any questions, just go ahead and write them in the comments. I will try to address them as I go. Before we do jump into today's really nice lesson, let me just remind you about SwiftUI Camp and what it is. Well, if you do like my teaching style and you do want to learn a little bit more about SwiftUI, not just what you are going to learn today about SwiftUI button styles. If you do want to take it to the next level, go ahead and check out store.rebeloper.com/SwiftUI camp. So go ahead and check that out. And currently we are already on stage 1, so I already have a few students joining because there will be a limit to the students that I'm working with on SwiftUI camp, and currently you can just join the waiting list. Hi from Peru. I like UIKit, but I'm amazing with SwiftUI. Hopefully you are amazing, Bruno, but I think that what you meant, I like UIKit, but I'm amazed with SwiftUI with Combine. Yes, SwiftUI with Combine is just awesome, and that is what we will learn in SwiftUI Camp. You can join the waiting list. It will be open in a few weeks, and let me just real quickly let you know what this is going to be all about. We are going to build out the iMessage app. As you can see, we are going to have a conversation list with all those nice chat bubbles. We are going to have text, links, and images added in there. And all of this in a 16 Zoom sessions, 2 hours long, meaning 1.5 hour me coaching you, and half an hour Q&A. We have a lot of good questions on the Q&A currently on our SwiftUI camp, so hopefully you will get in on the next opening and you get to join those Q&As. Bruno, I'm amazed. Sorry, your English is not bad. Autocomplete is bad. Don't worry about it, Bruno. Autocomplete is bad. Okay, why you need a SwiftUI coach? Well, because I am here to teach you the tips and tricks that I learned with SwiftUI, because it's not just laying out UI, and you will see in just a second that everything is about data. Okay, and you will learn not just the things that you can go and learn on Google. Okay, and we are going to learn about UI and the backend, but I will come back to this later on. If you're interested, stay tuned, because I will talk a little bit more about SwiftUI Camp in just a few tens of minutes, well, maybe at the end of this tutorial. But if you do like this video, I encourage you to give it a like. It helps a lot with the Google, YouTube algorithm. And let's just dive into this. Okay, this is what we are going to build out. Buttons. So we are going to learn about SwiftUI button styles. Now, these are really nice style buttons. You can just tap on them. There we go. As you can see, this is scaling, the fast forward one. All the others are styled and are fading, excluding the delete button. That is not fading at all. So this is what we are going to build out, and I have just prepared a small demo project here. You can just create it on your own, and by the way, you will have the link for these resources in the description. So if you do want to follow along, you are not live with me right now, go ahead and check out that link, and you will have the GitHub repository link right over there. But currently we have a few buttons here, and let me just build and run and see what we have at the moment. And we'll see that actually we have all of those buttons, but without any styling. So we have console, and if we just tap on OK, we will see that it's OK, like we are printing out tapped, tapped, and tapped. So the default buttons. Okay, so let's start styling all of these, and we will start off, of course, with the first one, and that is the cancel. And what better way to kind of make this pop out than to add a font there. So font dot title. Okay, so let's hit Command R and build and run. By the way, I prefer to have the simulator rather than the canvas. It's, in my opinion, in these tutorials, it's a lot more faster. Okay, so there we go. We added our title. Now let's add in some more, because yeah, we do want to make this look like, let me just scroll this a little bit up. So we do want to make it resemble to this console button that we have over here. So first of all, let's add in here a padding, because we are going to add a background and a foreground color. Okay, so first of all, let's add in here a padding, and then let's add in a background. And I'm adding the padding before the background so we can see the background expand from that console string, so the text itself. So the background, let's have let's say color dot blue, and let's add a foreground next. Foreground, as you can see, we have a foreground color right over here. So I'm going to use the system background, because yes, this will also work with appearance changes. So let's just go color, and I'm using the UI kit part of colors, because I really like system, because I think I need system background. There we go. So system background, I really like the system background. Basically it's white in light mode and black in dark mode. Okay, so that's system background for the foreground color. And let's just add a corner radius, finally corner radius of 8. Okay, so let's build and run and see what we did. Okay, so there we go. We got our really nice big console button over there. Okay, so that's great. But what if we want to reuse this? And the purpose of this tutorial, of course, is to learn about button styles. Now, if you haven't noticed, there is a view modifier called button style, and we can just use this button style. But yeah, we didn't create one, so let me just comment this out and let's create one. So tap on, right click on the content view, for example, and let's create a new file here. And let's name this rounded corner button style. So select Swift file, click on next there, rounded corner, corners maybe. Let's use corners button style. Okay. And yeah, make sure that you have chosen a simple Swift file. What we want to do is, first of all, let's just import SwiftUI, because yeah, there isn't any rounded corners without SwiftUI. Okay, and next up, let's create a struct. So these button styles are structs indeed. So I'm just copying that out, and this is of type button style. Okay, now Xcode will yell at us, okay, there's a lot going on here, but what actually we want to add in here is a make body. So there's one required function here, and that is make body. Okay, so what is this make body? Let me just move this out of the way so we can see a little bit more of the code. Okay, so we have this configuration in the make body. Okay, but this configuration, let's just go with the configuration, just typing that out, and let's add a dot here. You can see that we have a label and an is presented. Now buttons do have a label, and they kind of tend to have an is presented. So are we presenting something? Oh, sorry, not is presented, is pressed. So are we pressing on that button? Okay, let's take care of the label first. We are going to dive deep into is pressed also, don't worry. Okay, hey, yo, Kartik, for you too. Go ahead and ask any questions on the chat if you do have while I'm explaining. So if you just add in dot label, we can just go back to the content view and copy all of this out. Well, I'm just copying that out, and let me just comment it out. We are not going to need that anymore. And let's just paste all of this in. And as you can see, it's kind of working. And now we just go back here and comment out the button style view modifier and just start typing out rounded corners button style, and don't forget to initialize that. I always forgot that till I got accustomed to that. You have to initialize the button style. Okay, so let's hit Command R and you will see exactly the same thing. Nothing has changed, and yeah, that is okay, but we want to style this a little bit further, so we want to have some options here. Hey Kartik, what is the future of iOS native as Flutter is growing fast? Well, this is I could just go on ranting about this on a whole separate video. Basically, my point is that native iOS will always be much closer, of course, to the native iOS SDKs and what you can do on iOS than any third party like Flutter or cross-platform frameworks. And so just go all the way iOS. So it's better to be good at one thing than be lame at a lot of things, like, I don't know, maybe just cross-platforming. So yeah, I highly encourage you to learn SwiftUI, maybe a little bit of UIKit. Okay, so let's move forward and make this console button. Let's have a console button that has the option to style its background, its foreground, its font, maybe its padding also. So for that, let me just go back to our rounded corners button style. And how can we actually have this font like optional, like we can just set it? So what we want to do here is just create a font variable, and that will be of type font. You could just omit this, it will be inferred because I'm adding a default value here. And let's just have a font here, and let's just go with system font of size, I don't know, maybe 16. That kind of is the default value there. And let's just go with bold, and I don't care about the design. Okay, so that's our font, and if we just hit Command B, well, basically it will build successfully. So let's just add this font right over here, and when we're at it, let's just have another button. So I think that on the content view we can experiment on this. Okay, so let's have a separate font for our button style, and yeah, we didn't add a button style, so let's just add this button style right over here. And now if I just start typing that out and start to initialize this, like open parentheses, you can see that we have this font option here. Now we can just use that, and I don't know, let's just have this as caption. Yeah, it will be really small, but hey, it's now we can just see that. And I think I need to move this all the way up to the OK. I didn't meant to add it onto the delete. So let's just build and run again so we can see that small OK. Yeah, I do know if you take a really good look at it, you can see that now the font has changed. Of course, you can change the font whenever. Okay, so what else do we want to change? Well, let's just make this really flexible. Okay, so let's move back to our rounded corners button style and let's add some more. Now I will add a little bit more here and then we are going to test it out. So first of all, I want to change the padding. As you can see, it's quite large. So var padding, and on the padding, as you can see, currently we have this default value and it's padding on the horizontal and vertical. It's the same, but I want to make it to be paddable on a horizontal scale and on a vertical scale. And while you are so let's just create a CG point for that, because a CG point has equals CG point. CG point has an X and a Y value, so we are going to use that. So the X values, let's say, let's just use them on the horizontal and the Y values on the vertical. So for default values, I would just add in here 12 and 8. I just pre-made these magical numbers because they look really nice. Okay, and now let's just add it right over here. So first of all, let's go with the horizontal. So horizontal, and let's grab our padding's X value. Okay, and let's add another padding, and that will be a vertical one, and padding dot Y. Okay. So that's it for the padding. You will see that it will be much better, so it will look much better. Okay, and then let's add in here a foreground color, and yeah, let's go with the background color first. So var background color, and that will be of type color. And I really like to use the default blue. Well, we could just go with the accent color if we wanted to, but let's just use the blue one. So color dot blue. Okay, let's add our foreground color. By the way, if you don't set an accent color in your asset, it will be blue by default. Okay, that will be a color, and the foreground color should be again our system background. So color dot system background, like that in parentheses. Okay, we got our background color and our foreground color. Now, how would we use that? Well, we just copy that out and let's just replace this and foreground color right over there. Okay, so finally we have a corner radius. So our corner radius, and that is a CG float actually. So CG float, and let's have it as 8. Okay, let's just add this corner radius right over here. And now let's just go back to our content view and let's play a little bit around. So here we have our content view, and let's just start a new initialization. Let's hit Command B first because we do want to have auto completion. And now we have a lot more here. So font, well, basically I don't care about the font. The default value is okay, and you did see that. Also about the padding, I'm really fine with the default padding. Now the background color. So for the background color, let me just see what we are trying to build out here. So we are trying to have this okay, but let me just move that. So we have an okay, but that is the foreground color is blue, but the background color is system background, and the corner radius, well, let's just go with 14 for now. So background color, that is color, oh, sorry, I didn't select that. Color dot system background. Okay, that's the background color. Now we have our foreground color, and that will be dot blue. and corner radius 16. Okay, and while we are here, let's just make these in separate lines so we can read them a lot better. Okay, yeah, let's just build and run and see what we got till this point. Okay, that's great, but where is the stroke? As you can see, we have this stroke over here. Also, we don't see the corner radius, and that's because of the stroke. Okay, so next up, we are going to add a stroke. And for that, we are going to a little bit make this background color a little bit more messy, but you will understand. So first of all, we need to create a stroke color and a stroke width. So I think that under the corner radius, so before the corner radius, it would be okay. So var stroke color, and that's also a color, and that is color, let's just go with blue again. Okay, that's stroke color. Let's just go with stroke line width. Okay, and that is, I believe that is again a CG float, if I remember that correctly. And let's add in here too. Okay, so let's use these two, like the stroke color and the stroke line width, to create an actual stroke. Now that will be added onto the background. So this background actually isn't a background. We need to have in here a view. So let's delete this and let's start typing something else. Well, we actually want to have in here a rounded rectangle. So rounded rectangle, and here we are going to choose the one with the corner radius. Now the corner radius comes from this one, so let's add that corner radius right over here, and let's remove this. So we are going to be left with the foreground color because the corner radius is added to the rounded rectangle. Now to add a stroke, just add this modifier, so stroke, and the first one you want to have is the stroke color. So the stroke color, and then just start typing out line width, and then stroke, come on, stroke, oh, it's not strike, it's stroke right over here, and stroke line width. Okay, that seems to be okay. So let's just go hit Command B. Let's go back over here and let's see. Let's just add this stroke. Let's go with, after the foreground color, we are going to have our stroke color. So stroke color, let's have this as blue again. And let's add a comma right over there. The corner radius stays the same. Now let's just build and run. Okay, looks really, really nice. I think, yes, we did change some things here, but I will just comment that out, or no, I will just fix that. Let's just fix that. What's the problem right over here? So let's see. With stroke color, yeah, because this is the default one. Okay, so let's see, how can we fix this? So what we are going to do here is yes, we still have to worry about the fill. So let me just go over here, and before the stroke we are going to go with a fill. So dot fill, you can see we are having the background color missing. So we are going to use a dot fill and background color. Okay, that's that. But now we are going to have a problem with the stroke. And yeah, that is something that we want to add. You know, we can't have fill and stroke on a rounded rectangle. We are going to add in here an overlay. So let's go with the overlay. And this is a view, so we are going to have a simple view. And let's add in here another rounded rectangle. So rounded rectangle of corner radius corner radius. And now let's just move this stroke all the way up. If you just didn't know already, we can just use Alt Command and open brackets, so open square brackets. And now we have that overlay right over there. Okay, so let's hit Command R again, and now you can see that the cancel button is okay. So what we actually did here is just added the fill as the background color. Really, really nice. Okay, so that's that, but I still want to add some extra stuff here, and that is, let me just move this out of the way. I want to add in here a drop shadow. So next up, we might want to add in here a shadow like shadow, and you can see we have a radius, and basically what I care about is about the radius. So let's just add in here a new shadow radius after the corner radius. So var shadow radius, and this shadow radius, I believe it is a CG float, so CG float, and currently I'm going to set this to 0 because, yeah, not very often do we need a shadow radius. So let's just add it right over here, but I'm going to go on the content view and add that shadow radius after the corner radius right over here. Let me just move this a little bit up. Okay, so we have our shader radius, and let's just add in here, I don't know, maybe 5. And I don't know if you can notice that, but if you just build this out, you will notice that now we actually have that shadow radius. Okay, so that's great. And it looks really, really nice. But whenever we tap on this, they are not fading in. So what I suggest next, as you can see here, they are kind of fading. That's the buttonish way of doing this. So what I suggest is next adding an opacity. So how do we add an opacity whenever this is tapped? And this is the next step, the second thing in the configuration. So first of all, let's just add after our foreground color, because we want to fade everything out. We want to add in here opacity. And we just set his here like 0.5 or whatever, but I'm going to check if the this button is pressed. So configuration is pressed, and here we have a ternary operator. Now, if this is pressed, then we want to have let's say 0.95, or well, no, let's have 0.6. That 0.95 will be for the scale. Sorry about that. And if this is not pressed, then the opacity should be 1. So let's hit Command R again, and now we should see our buttons fade away. Really, really nice. Okay, of course these other buttons are default, so don't worry about those. So now we have these really nice fading buttons, and I think we are done with the OK button, and we can move on to finally our delete button. And this is just it. So okay, this is not fading. So what gives? Well, we are going to add a label right over here, and we are going to check if this should fade or it shouldn't fade. Okay, Hardik says, hello sir. Hello Hardik. Where are you from? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Lasit says, wow man, cheers from Sri Lanka. Hey Lasit from Sri Lanka. Good to see you here, and hopefully you enjoyed this really in-depth SwiftUI button tutorial on how to style our buttons. Okay, so next up we want to have this delete button. Well, first of all, let's style this. Let me just go back to our content view. As you can see, we just have a simple label, and I just added this here because for this OK button and the cancel button, we are using the string values, and you might want to add in some other elements like an image. In our case, this is a label. And just a second. Before I move forward, let me just remind you about SwiftUI Camp, and I will just continue what I was talking about SwiftUI Camp and then just do a little bit of recaps. Well, with SwiftUI Camp, you will learn how to build out UI in SwiftUI, we are going to build out authentication view, profile view, conversation list view, conversation view, well, all of the views. But the most important part is that we are going to talk a lot about how to handle data, because actually in SwiftUI, if you haven't noticed, the UI is driven by the data, and we could just call it SwiftUI equals data UI, as I have written right over here. And what better way to handle all of this data is the MVVM architecture. We're going to cover models, view models, constants, repository sessions, services, all of that good stuff. With Firebase, we are going to add in a backend. Firestore Firebase will be the perfect backend for our app. We are going to do that with Swift Package Manager. Also, if you can read right over here, we will be authenticating with sign-in with Apple through Firebase. That will be a little bit tricky, but I will teach you how to do that also. And we're going to do the basic CRUD for users and messages. And we are going to implement real-time chat logic, because yes, this app will be about iMessage. We are going to build out a basic iMessage app so you can learn all the advanced stuff of SwiftUI. Of course, data handling is the utmost importance. Okay, we are going to support text, images, and links as message types. Now, how are we going to do this? Well, in 16 Zoom sessions, and 2 hours long, we are going to have 1.5 hours of me coding and the rest Q&A, and all of this in 8 weeks. So 2 sessions, so-called Zoom sessions in a week. Okay, so yeah, how can I enroll? Well, you have to wait a little bit, because I'm currently with some students, and once I finish that, I'm going to open up SwiftUI Camp again. So make sure that you join the waiting list. Go ahead and click on here, just sign up, and you will be notified when SwiftUI Camp will be open again. It will be open for a few days, so make sure that you check out my emails, because yeah, you might miss it. Okay, so let's move on and just talk about this delete button, because we still have a lot to cover, and I think we are already past the half-hour mark. Okay, so let's go to Xcode. By the way, if you do like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Okay, so the delete button. So what actually do we want to have on the delete? Let's add in here our button style. So just add in here our button style, and that will be our rounded corners button style. And now you can see that we have quite a lot here, and let's just use, I don't really care about the font right over here, nor the padding. I do care about the background color, so that needs to be as color dot system background. Okay, I do care about the foreground color. I want to make this dot red. And I do want to have a stroke color of dot red. Stroke line width, well, 2 is okay, so I will just delete this. Corner radius, so I think the default corner radius will work okay, and I don't care about the shadow radius, so we are not going to have any shadow on this. So let's hit Command R, and let's see this action in action. So there we go. Okay, it's tapping, but it's still fading. So in order to disable this, I will just add in here another animation type, and that is scaling. So let's move on to the rounded corners button, and let's just comment this out for now, and let's just add in here a scale effect. As you can see, we have a scale, and it needs a CG size. So we are going to add in here another let's see, yes, we need to have a scale. So let's just see, what are we going to add in here? Well, we could just use let's just use our is pressed again. Yes, so this is what we want. I lost a little bit of train of thought here, but yes. So whenever we want the button is pressed, we want to make this as 0.95. Okay, let's hit Command R and see how this looks like. Okay, if I just tap on these, you can see they are kind of bouncing back and forth. So they are scaled down and then back again. Now, this is really like choppy. I don't know if you can see this, but it's just going there and to 95 and going back up to 1. So what I would just add in here is an animation. So animation, and I really like the spring one. And yeah, by the way, go ahead and check out my latest video on the YouTube channel about animations. I'm talking a lot about animations all the way to spring effects. So go ahead and check that out. So now you can see it's just really, really nice. It's just springing with that scale effect. Okay, but I don't want this scale effect on the delete button. I don't want any effect. I don't want opacity. I don't want scale. But I do want to have the flexibility to have the scale effect or the fade on the other buttons. So for that, we are going to first of all create a pressed animation enum, and we will case all of our our cases of none, fade, and scale. So let me just type this out and you will see this, how all of this goes. Okay, so go ahead and type your name, or type where are you from in the chat, so I do know where are you from, and I want to read out your name, so go ahead and do that. So enum and pressed animation, there we go. I can type. Okay, so there we will have three cases. Case of none, because yeah, that's what I want on the delete button. None, sorry about that, auto completion. Augusto is from Peru. Oh, all around the world. Really, really nice. Thank you for typing that in the chat. Go ahead. If you haven't already typed your where are you from, go ahead and leave it in the chat. Now we are going to have another case of, and we already have 9 likes. Thank you very much. 9 likes. Thank you very much. If you haven't liked already, what are you doing? Go ahead and give it a like. But thank you for all of those 9 likes. Okay. And 10 likes. Thank you. Okay. So thank you very much. Let's just go back to coding. Fade. So I want to have in here fade, and then we want to have scale. But we want to add in here the percentage of which I want to fade out to or scale down to. So we are going to add in here an opacity, and that will be a double. So on the opacity we are using double, and on the scale I'm just going to use scale again, why not? And that would be a CG float. Okay, so we have our 3 cases. All we have to do now is just set the or create some variables that we can access the opacity and the scale from. Okay, I do know this is getting quite complicated, but this is why you came here. Okay, so we want to learn all of this advanced stuff. Okay, var opacity, and that opacity will be of course a double, and let's create this. So how do we know what type of opacity do we need on this button style? Well, we want to switch all through our cases. So switch self, so the pressed animation, and let us wait for xcode to complain, and it will add in all of our cases right over here. So whenever we say none, the opacity should be, and we are going to return here our value, the opacity should be 1, because yeah, opacity 1. On the scale, also, we don't want to mess around with the opacity. We return again 1. And because of this, not Q, 1. We're not using this scale, so we can just remove this with an underscore. Cool, tip there. Now we are going to return, as you guessed it, the opacity right over here. Okay, so let's do the scale variable also. So var scale, there we go. It will be a CG float. Okay, switch self. Let's wait for xcode to autocomplete right over here. And the switch must be so stiff, so let's fix that. Under none, again, we want to have this as 1. Under fade, we want to have this as 1 also, and on the scale, we want to return, and I think we have to add in their return. Sorry about that, guys and girls. There we go. And let's remove the opacity. Okay, so now that we have our opacity and our scale, we want to implement it. So we have a scale effect right over here, and we want to actually grab our 0.95 from our pressed animation. So pressed first of all, we want to create a pressed animation. Yeah, let me just undo that. And I don't know, maybe after the shadow radius, let's just create var pressed animation of type pressed animation, and let's set the default to a fade one, so you can now see that we have scale, none, and fade. Opacity 0.5, because that's basically the default animation for a pressed button. Okay, now we can grab this pressed animation, and if the pressed animation is well, we want to just simply add it. We have this scale. Now, if we didn't select scale, this will be 1. And on pressed or not pressed, the pressed animation, the scale effect will be 1. And we can just do the opacity also for the pressed animation. So pressed animation dot opacity, come on. Oh, we want to have this with a small p, not a capital P, opacity. Again, this will be 1 if we return, let's say, oh, we want to have this as, so if we just set this to scale, then under the fade, it will return 1. Okay, and right over here, I don't know what I typed here. Hopefully you kind of got annoyed by this, but yeah, we have the scale here. Okay. Yashir, hello. Hello, Yashir. Where are you from? Go ahead and type it out on the chat. Okay. So now we got rid of the scale and the opacity. Let's just get rid of all the animation on the delete. And I can see that we already have 11 likes. Okay. Ooh, 11 likes. I think I had 12 likes on the live. So let's see if we can get to 12 likes. Of course, you know, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Okay. So we are at the delete button, and now after the stroke color, let's just go, and before that, let's hit Command B. So we have auto completion and pressed animation, and I will just go with none. Okay, I don't care about the rest, it will be none. Okay, so let's see. You can see that the cancel is fading, the OK is fading, and delete, you can see that we are tapping away, but nothing is happening. And this is exactly what I wanted to do. So let's just add in here some new lines so we can see all of these options that we have right over here. Okay, so yeah, really, really cool stuff. Now we are getting really, really deep, and let's build out this fast forward button. You can see it's scaling, and it has some other like this kind of drop, but it's not a drop shadow. Hello Anup from India. Hello Anup, how are you? Hopefully you are really excited about this tutorial. So SwiftUI button styles all the way down. Okay, so next up we are going to build this fast forward button. I don't know if you can see this, but it has kind of a 3D effect. It has a color right over there. So let's create that color first. So let me just go into the assets. Let's create a new color right over here. Color set. And I will name this dark orange. Okay, Anup says he's really excited. He says yes. Okay, thank you very much for your support. Dark orange, and what I will do is just select both of them, and let's just go for an orange right over here. So we get a custom really about that. Now let's go and select show color palette. Okay, let's just select this, and now I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. Okay, kind of like that. Okay, go ahead and build this out on your own so you will see all of these really nice tiny differences. Okay, so we have our dark orange. Okay, that's first thing. Rounded corners button, let's just go to our style, and now we want to add kind of a background to this. So where are we adding the background? Well, we do have a background, but after the overlay, I want to add another background for our rounded rectangle, and I do want to push it a little bit down. So this is what I'm going to do. So right over here, let me just make some room. Let's just go dot background, and it requires the view. And again, I'm going to grab our rounded rectangle. I need a corner radius of the same size, so corner radius. And now I'm going to fill this with a color, and it will be a named color. And let's just see, what do we, well, let's just have this as dark orange. Okay, so that's dark orange. And next up, I want to have an offset. So offset X and Y. Currently, I'm just going to use Y, but let's just leave X as 0 because I'm going to add in here some more stuff. And let's have an offset of, I don't know, maybe 3. And let's see. Okay, so now what we want to add in here, let's just build and run and see how this looks, because yeah, we don't want to have this all the time. So we want to add, as you can see, we added that really nice over here. It looks great right over here, but not really. And I do want to add it on the fast forward button. So let's just go on the content view first, and let's scroll all the way on the fast forward. Now, why do we have another button besides this example? Well, we have a label that sets the actual system image on the left. And now I want to show you how you can set the image on the right with the fast forward. Well, you have to have a horizontal stack. And 12 likes, hooray, we hit our record. Okay, any more likes, it will be a new record on our live stream. So if you are new and you haven't already liked, go ahead and give it a like. I would be really impressed for 13 likes. Okay. Hi Shiraz, you are from Pakistan. Awesome, awesome, from Pakistan. Welcome, and hopefully you will enjoy this SwiftUI button style tutorial all the way down. Okay, so yeah, where were we? We are going to add a button style for this horizontal stacked text and image. Okay, so button style, and again, rounded corners button style, and we will have a lot more here. And let's just select all of them. Now, what we are going to have here, let me just take a look at it. Yeah, we need to have that color right over here. So I just call this depth color. And because I do know that you might not want to make this offset to be 3, you might want to have it as 4 or 5. I will just create 2 variables here, and one is depth color and the other one is depth offset. So let me just have this just like so, so we don't have complaints about xcode. And let's, I think that after the shadow radius it will be okay. So var depth color, okay, and that will be a color. And let's just have this as dot black for now, so simple black. And then a var depth, okay, Anoop says, can you, Shiraz is asking, can you suggest me iOS development beginner series? Yes, take a look at all of my playlists. So I do have playlists and you can go through all of them. I highly recommend the SwiftUI ones. So go ahead and, playlists and just check out the SwiftUI ones. Anoop is asking, it's always simple and easy to, Anoop is stating it's always simple and easy to understand. Well, you are welcome. Hopefully you do understand this, and let's just continue with our depth offset. Okay, now for the depth offset, I would just use again a CG point because it has an X value and a Y value, so we can just use that. So CG point equals CG point, and let's just use the one with the doubles, or well, maybe if you do CG float, whatever. And I will just use 0 and 3 right over here. Okay, so let's use our depth color right over here. So this will be our depth color. So let me just add it right over here. And this will be our depth offset.x and then depth offset.y. Come on. Okay, and yeah, when should we actually have this? Well, basically this depth, let me just hit Command R so we can see the changes. So this depth should only be available when we are going to have a scale effect, because it looks really nice. When we have a fade effect, I don't think it looks really nice. As you can see, it shows the background, the rounded rectangle with the depth color. It's fading through. It doesn't look that well. So what I'm going to add in here is just see if the scale, so let's just go here under the fill. So pressed animation dot scale. Oh, I need to have small p there, dot scale. If it's not equal, not equal, so exclamation mark and equals mark. If it is not equal 1, then then it's a scaled one. So scale effect is in fact actually. Otherwise, if this is not, then we want to have just simply a clear color. So clear, which we cannot see. The same goes right over here. So let me just copy this ternary operator, or the first part right over here. So it would be then that. And otherwise, well, then otherwise it should be 0. We shouldn't offset that. The same goes for our Y value. Hopefully that is explained really nice. So yeah. Let's see. Now what we want to do is enable the scale effect on our fast forward button. So yeah, this is the default one. So let's just go over here. And while we are here, let me just show you a little bit more of what this can do. So let's just move one by one on this. And I think I needed to just go back and hit Command B because yeah, we want to have auto completion correctly. There we go. We have our depth color and depth offset. So for our font, we want to have, let's make this really nice, really big, a title. For our padding, let's just go with a CG point. And for the X value, let's just use 24. So that's for our horizontal padding. And for the Y value, let's use 12. Background color, well, if you have paid attention, that is orange. Foreground color, that is color system background. So color dot system background. Let's just choose that. And stroke color, well, I don't care about the stroke color, but the stroke line width is set to 2 by default. So what I will just do is just remove the stroke color. I don't care about that, but I will set the stroke line width to 0. So we don't have any stroke. Corner radius, well, the default corner radius is okay. Why not? You already saw the corner radius in action, nor the shadow radius. I don't care about the shadow. Now the depth color, this is where it all comes in. So color, and dark orange. Okay, that's dark orange. Depth offset, the default one is okay, so you could just change this if you wanted to. Now here comes the interesting part. You want to set this press animation to scaled. So scale, come on, scale, and then scale. Well, auto completion is failing me, but 0.95 for the scale will be okay. So yeah, hopefully that's okay. Let's hit command bar. Build has succeeded, really nice. And now we have this fast forward, really great. So yeah, you can't really see this right over here, but just build and run, you will see that it has this knife depth, darker orange right over here. And if we just press that, it looks really nice. And let's just double check that everything went okay. Okay, we have still some comments here, and 14 likes, my oh my, thank you very much, 14 likes. Let's see if we can get to 15. That would be really awesome. So let's see. Shara says, Rebeloper, how are you? Fine, thank you. Really enjoying this tutorial. Speak my name. Yes, Shiraz. I have spoken your name. Shiraz has messaged us on the chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Not many do take the pain to just type in the chat. So Anup says, I love your teaching style. Well, thank you very much. Shiraz is asking, can you suggest me iOS developer? Well, yeah, so I just read all of this. Okay, really nice. I just missed that Shiraz asked us to speak his name. Okay, so let's move forward. And what else do we want to add here? Well, currently, let's see what's the difference. You can see fast forward is white, but this chevron is black. So this is really interesting and really nice that we can have this option. We could just go into the image and just go foreground color dot black. And that's just it. And that will not interfere with the button style. It will just have the image with the foreground color. Really great. Okay. So we talked a lot here, and we are going to get finally to our last button. And yeah, this is just about styling. Let's just go and yeah, we want to have this kind of square button. The point here is that you can also have a VStack right over here. So let's see, what do we have here? So dot button style rounded corners button style. Okay, and let's choose this one, so with all of that. And let's see, I don't care about the font, that's okay. Padding, well, that's still okay. I think I want to have the background color as system, because yeah, as you can see, it is system. So color dot system background. Okay, foreground color, well, that will be green dot green. Stroke color, now we are going to use the stroke, so stroke color dot green. And now the stroke line width, as you can see, it's a lot thicker, so let's have in here maybe 5. Corner radius, well, we could just change it right over here. I won't go into, well, let's just do it right over here, or I think under the OK. So let me just show you. Before we move on, let me just go all the way up to the OK button. And yeah, we do have the corner radius, so we do know that. Yeah, I just forgot. I don't care about the corner radius then, nor the shadow radius, nor the depth color or the depth offset, because yeah, this will be fading away. And yeah, this will be the default one, so I can just remove the pressed animation also. So yeah, we just removed a lot of stuff here, but yeah, as you can see, with a few properties, we have a different one. So let's build and run and see this really nice. So yeah, the key point here is that we can have vertical stacks. Okay, and yeah, go ahead and check it out. The link for the resource, well, basically the GitHub repository resource will be in the description. It's a link to my site where you can have access to all of the resources to my YouTube channel. Okay, so one thing to note here is that 15 likes. Well, thank you very much. 15 likes. Well, that's a lot. So we broke our records tremendously. Okay, thank you very much. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, as I go, that's it. If you do want to hear a little bit more about SwiftUI Camp, go ahead and stay for a little while, because yeah, it's still on the waiting list. So you have to sign up for the waiting list, and once SwiftUI Camp opens up, then you can just simply be announced on that. We have another question here. Agata is asking, when will you be live next time? Well, tomorrow, because this will be a whole series about SwiftUI views, and basically what I think that is really useful for the community. Go ahead, and if you do have any suggestions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. So yeah, tomorrow we will come with another live. Okay, SwiftUI Camp, we will be building. So currently it's only open for the waiting list, so it will be open about a month from now. So go ahead and make sure that you are on that list. We are going to build out the iMessage app, and while we are going to do that, we are going to learn some advanced tips and tricks on SwiftUI, and most importantly about the data. So we are going to learn a lot about data handling. If you mess around with SwiftUI, you can see that, okay, we can add in here a Z stack, a V stack, whatever. But once you get into the data, you can get lost. So this is what I teach. I have a real emphasis on data, on this 16 Zoom sessions, because it will take 8 weeks. And we will have 16 Zoom sessions, 2 hours long, 1.5 hours me coding and teaching you all of that really nice, good stuff, and half an hour of Q&A. You ask me anything about the session, about your project, about some bugs that you have. And yeah, we are going to have 16 Zoom sessions. Just so you know, it will be open for about 2 to 3 days. So make sure that you are going to catch that. So sign up for the newsletter. And yeah, after that, I'm closing. Only about 5 people will be allowed in. Okay, so yes. UI, data, and backend. That is what we are going to cover. And Agata is right. Yeah, you should also turn on the notification bell, because yeah, if you just turn on the notification, you will get an instant notification in the app, or you will get an email. So yeah, don't miss our live series. It will be all week long. We will be learning on the SwiftUI Camp about UI, data, and authentication view, profile view. So we're going to build out the basic iMessage app with all of these views, and then a good emphasis on SwiftUI with data, because yeah, basically data is driving SwiftUI. And it's reactive, so it goes kind of counterintuitive if you were working with UIKit. Of course, if you were programming reactively, then you are a little bit luckier. But otherwise, yeah, we are going to use MVVM, of course, because that's kind of what Apple recommends, and it fits really nicely with SwiftUI. We're going to build out models, view models, constant setup, session services, so all of that, because we are going to tie all of this up with a backend from Firebase, Firestore, and yeah, it will be a live chat app. We are going to learn about Swift Package Manager. We're going to sign in with Apple through Firebase, so just one tap of a button authentication, CRUD for users and messages, real-time chat logic, supporting text, images, and links. What else would you want more? Well, if you do want more, you will be able to have this as a second, well, the fourth module, because as you can see, we have only 3, and 16 divided by 14, well, it's not that easy to divide that. It's not whole. I'm leaving those sessions for your questions, for your issues. So yeah, you will have a problem, let's say in your project, we will cover also that. Okay, go ahead and check out store.rebeloper.com/SwiftUI or just go to store.rebeloper.com and check out my other products there. But yeah, you want to go with SwiftUI Camp, and it will be live. Well, it will be open in just a few weeks now, so go ahead and join the waiting list. That's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this live video about SwiftUI button styles. Hopefully it was really useful for you. Go ahead and give it a like. Well, thumbs up is always okay for the YouTube algorithm, and hit that notification bell. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. What are you doing? Subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow.